That's it. The music from my dream.
In this 6-story anthology, all the characters' lives are connected.
There are whole movements I wrote imagining us meeting again and again in different lives, in different ages.
Spanning centuries, they confront the challenges of being human. Freedom, corruption, and creativity are all linked in Cloud Atlas.
Hi, I'm Salim.
I'm Liz.
And I'm Sean.
And we're here to talk about the most expensive independent movie ever made, Cloud Atlas, directed by the Wachowski siblings, who of course did the Matrix trilogy, and Tom Tykwer, who directed Run Lola Run.
Cloud Atlas is based on the 2004 novel by David Mitchell of the same name. It's about 6 stories that span centuries, if not longer. And it's a lot of stuff that I guess you're supposed to think is thematically interesting and epic and gigantic, and I thought it was kind of a whole bunch of hooey.
All 6 of those stories revolve around a similar theme.
High production values.
No, that theme is greed. Every single character...
It's greed?
Yes.
It's a nearly 3-hour movie about greed?
Yeah, but you're acting like you've never seen movies that are just connected with one thematic issue. And that's something that you need in order for this story to be coherent. Granted, greed is not the only thing that connects it. This movie is really about future and past lives.
What are you reading?
Old letters.
Why do you keep reading them?
I don't know. Just trying to understand why we keep making the same mistakes over and over.
A lot of our actors play multiple characters in different races and different genders. And if you look at the trends of their characters that they play, they're very similar.
Yeah.
Like if you look at Hugo Weaving, he always plays a villain in every single segment. And you can see that his character does not change over the span of time.
But that's not even sensical in a way, because Hugo Weaving is the only person who's doing that. Tom Hanks is shady sometimes, good sometimes.
He's the character with the strongest arc from the very beginning of the film to the very end. From the very beginning of the film, he plays an extreme villain. And then at the very end, he plays our hero. And he's the character that manages to defy his fate a little bit and make a change.
I think that it's a failed experiment, and the fact that it doesn't resonate in a way that gets to you.
I'm gonna blow your minds, because this is what I think the movie's about. It's about the transience of boundaries. We look at these characters and they're played, no, hold on, this is really important, because this is something we haven't talked about yet, is Lana Wachowski is a transgender woman. And this is a big deal, is the fact that people don't really want to talk about the fact that she had a sex change. And this film has actors playing different genders, different races throughout history, and it has reoccurring themes. And so this film is about how there are no boundaries and how race is transient, gender is transient, and it's all reflective of the experience of Lana Wachowski.
My major conflict, now we have a future timeline that unfortunately they have a devolved form of English that they use. That
True.
True. And there's no subtitles.
Right.
And literally, the half of the dialogue is incomprehensible.
I think the issue for me were performances, and I think those derived from the politics of the film. This is an independent film, like we talked about, so the Wachowskis thought, not being backed by a studio, we have to cast people that have huge names. And I think one of those names for me that was a little bit of a mistake was Tom Hanks. And I think that's because Tom Hanks is a superstar now. He's not the actor that he was in the 90s.
I'm gonna have to agree with you, Liz. I haven't really seen anything strong from Tom Hanks, maybe since Castaway, maybe since The Terminal, and I feel like it's the same issue. He is not able to disappear into these roles.
I think Hanks is fine. I mean, if anything, the part where you have this language barrier where you can't understand what the people are saying, I thought the only saving grace of that was the fact that Tom Hanks played that character so strongly. I mean, I was like, at least I can somewhat get into this because I've got somebody like Tom Hanks to guide me along the way. I think it's probably one of his best performances. I know he's playing a lot of roles, but I think at least it's one of his more interesting performances in a while.
My favorite actors in this film were Jim Broadbent, Jim Sturgis, Duna Bay, and Ben Whishaw. I thought they were all phenomenal, and they all brought differing aspects to their respective 6+ roles.
Sometimes I can't get past the fact that there's makeup. I mean, I'm looking at somebody who's obviously in heavy makeup going, all right, that's somebody, but I'm not sure which one of the cast members that is. You've got men playing women, and I just get distracted by it.
When you try to parse it and deconstruct it and say, well, is it well directed? I don't even think of it as 3 directors. I think of it as one director with a singular vision, and I think of it as really cohesive film.
It's a $100 million movie, and the money is on the screen. I can certainly say that nothing went to waste in terms of what they did to get their special effects out there.
So you're trying to say you like the production values.
I like the production values. If you're looking for an epic motion picture, I have to applaud them for trying to reach out and doing something.
Yeah, so bizarre and such an odd film.
So bizarre, but that
it.
doesn't mean I think that it's successful. Well, Cloud Atlas generates a lot of questions, but the only one I really had was, so what? But there's a lot of grandeur and awe, so if you like the epic special effects, stream it.
I do think at times that this film does not succeed wholeheartedly, but it's ambitious and it's personal, and I was entertained for 3 hours. So I say, see it.
Cloud Atlas, thought-provoking, sometimes frustrating, but if you allow it, it could be the most unique movie I've ever seen. See it.
Well, it looks like our votes add up to 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for Cloud Atlas.
Cool.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To reading into things that aren't actually there.
I know it. I know it.
White Halle Berry looks a lot like Madonna.